Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. For this week's video, we're going to be tone testing our brand new Strat-Tele hybrid parts caster, and we're going to be comparing it up against a couple of Fender guitars and see if this baby can hang with the best. Let's cue the ballad. Now, if you missed last week's build video, I'll put a link to that one above, but basically we gathered all our parts and put this thing together, and today we're going to find out if it sounds any good or not. Now, I took the guitar outside to take some shots for Instagram, so I'll show you guys those shots right now as I go through the specs, but basically we've got a black Carina hybrid body from Warmoth, so all the contours and comfort cuts of a Strat, but in the Tele shape. We've got a Bacote neck with stainless steel frets, compound radius from 10 to 16, really beautiful playing neck. We've got ratio tuners from Graphtech, locking tuners. They've been holding the strings perfectly, and all the tuning machines, because they have individual gears, they all feel the same to tune, so that's awesome. And we've got ourselves a Blade Runner Trem system. I'll talk about that in the future. And we've got ourselves flame maple Wiggins Pickups. So really, really great stuff. And on the inside that you can't see, we have our, of course, Obsidian wire solderless kit. All right, let's start our tone test and see if our parts caster here can hang out with the Fenders. So what we're going to do is play the neck positions, and we're going to just play totally clean. This is an American standard Stratocaster, so that'll be the benchmark. Let's take a listen. Now, after listening to that, I think our parts caster could definitely hang with the Fender. I think it does have a little bit more zing and attack to it, but other than that, very close. Okay, next up, we're going to see if our parts caster can hang out with a Tele. So this is an American standard Telecaster. We're going to put the pickup selector in the middle position so that the neck pickup and the bridge are on simultaneously, and that gives it that really kind of chimey / quacky sound that's really, you know, Telecaster-y. So on our parts caster, we're going to use our neck pickup and the outer coil of our bridge pickup. So it's going to be similar to a Tele in theory, but let's take a listen and see how close we can get. So after listening to that comparison, I would say our parts caster again is a little bit brighter, a little bit more attacky than the Tele, which was surprising, but I think they both have that kind of out of phase, kind of quacky sound really nailed. So a totally usable sound on this for that style of music. Now that we've listened to some clean tones, let's add some dirt. So what we're going to do is add sort of a light bluesy breakup on our neck pickup, and then we're going to go to our bridge pickup and add some high gain. All right, now let's jump to our bridge pickups and add a ton of gain. Now, obviously the parts caster has a humbucking pickup, which is very different than a single coil. It's gonna give like a thicker, fuller, more powerful sound, and the single coil in the traditional Strat here is gonna give sort of more bright, biting, kind of vintagey tone. So it just depends whether you want a modern tone or a vintage tone, but let's check that sound comparison out. And at the end of the single coil playing, I'm just gonna let it ring a bit without a gate so you guys can hear how noisy a single coil can be. That's one of the advantages of having a humbucker. It's totally silent, whereas the single coil will give you some 60 cycle hum. Okay, let's throw our parts caster in a mix with some other instruments and just sort of see how it sits there. We're going to play sort of a slow, emotive, really melodic ballad. Of course, the backing tracks are always listed in the video description below, so check that out. Let's take a listen. So after our tone comparison here, and after playing on this guitar for really only 2 or 3 days here, I think I can safely say it does hang with the Fenders, which is super cool. So I'm pumped about that. I think the tones are really good. It does have an added dimension of attack or clarity or a little bit of bite to it that the other guitars don't. So that's really interesting, and I don't know if it has to do with the Bacote neck, black Carina, you know, absorbing and letting certain frequencies through, or if it's the stainless steel frets or the Trem system, whatever it is, there's something about this guitar that does give you a little bit of that extra bite. But overall, I think it sounds awesome, and it sure is a ton of fun to play. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. We'll be back on Monday to wrap up the series. We're going to talk about the stainless steel frets versus nickel. We're going to talk about the Blade Runner versus some other Trem systems. I will talk about the switching options, whether I've been liking that or not. So anyway, we'll wrap up the whole thing on Monday. Other than that, have an awesome day, you guys. We'll see you then.